In the name of God, the Almighty, the Merciful. O mankind, be in prudent fear of your Lord. The convulsion of the hour is a tremendous thing. The day you see it, every one nursing will neglect what she suckled, and every one pregnant will deliver her burden. And thou wilt see mankind intoxicated when they are not intoxicated, but the punishment of God is severe. And among men is he who disputes concerning God without knowledge, and follows every rebellious Satan, against whom it is decreed that whoso takes him as ally, him will he lead astray, and guide him to the punishment of the inferno. O mankind, if you are in doubt about the resurrection, then we created you from dust, then from a sperm drop, then from a clinging thing, then from a fleshy lump, formed and unformed, that we might make plain to you. And we settle in the wombs what we will to a stated term. Then we bring you forth as a child, then that you should reach maturity. And among you is he who is taken, and among you is he who is sent back to the most abject age, so that he knows not after knowledge anything. And thou seest the earth lifeless. Then when we send down upon it water, it quivers and swells, and grows every delightful kind, for it is that God, he is the truth, and that he gives life to the dead, and that he is over all things powerful, and that the hour about which there is no doubt is coming, and that God will raise those in the graves. And among men is he who disputes concerning God, without knowledge or guidance or an illuminating writ, turning aside proudly to lead away from the path of God. For him in the world is disgrace, and on the day of resurrection we will let him taste the punishment of the consuming fire, for it is that thy hand sent ahead, and that God is not unjust to the servants. And among men is he who serves God upon an edge. If good befalls him, he is assuaged thereby, but if a means of denial befalls him, he makes an about face. He has lost the world and the hereafter. That is the clear loss. He calls besides God to that which neither harms him nor benefits him. That is the extreme error. He calls to him whose harm is nearer than his benefit. Evil is the protector, and evil is the associate. God will make those who heed warning and do righteous deeds enter gardens beneath which rivers flow. God does what he wills. Whoso thinks that God will not help him in the world and the hereafter, let him stretch out means to the sky. Then let him cross and let him look. Will his plan remove what enrages? And thus have we sent it down as clear proofs, and because God guides whom he wills. Those who heed warning, and those who hold to Judaism, and the Sabaeans, and the Christians, and the Magians, and those who ascribe a partnership, God will decide between them on the day of resurrection. God is witness over all things. Dost thou not see that to God submits whoso is in the heavens, and whoso is in the earth, and the sun, and the moon, and the stars, and the mountains, and the trees, and the creatures, and many among mankind? And upon many has the punishment become binding, and whom God humiliates, he has none to honour him. God does what he wills. These are two disputants who have disputed about their Lord. Then those who ignore warning, garments of fire have been cut for them, poured over their heads will be scalding water, melted thereby will be what is in their bellies, as well as their skins. And for them are restraints of iron. Whenever they desire to come out therefrom, from anguish they will be returned thereto, and taste the punishment of the consuming fire. God will make those who heed warning and do righteous deeds enter gardens beneath which rivers flow. They will be adorned therein with bracelets of gold and pearls, and their raiment therein will be silk. And they were guided to the good of speech, and were guided to the path of the praiseworthy. Those who ignore warning and turn away from the path of God and the inviolable place of worship which we made for mankind, seek therein deviation by injustice. Alike are the one remaining in it and the one without, and whoso seeks therein deviation by injustice, him will we let taste of a painful punishment. And when we settled for Abraham the position of the house, ascribe thou not a partnership with me to anything, and purify thou my house for those who walk around, and those who stand, and the lowly, and the submitting, and proclaim thou among mankind the pilgrimage. They will come to thee on foot, and on every lean mount. They will come from every deep mountain pass, that they might witness benefits for them, and remember the name of God on days appointed over their provision of livestock cattle. So eat thereof, and feed the unfortunate poor. Then let them make an end of their unkemptness, and fulfill their vows, and walk around the ancient house. That see 22:67 through 70. And whoso honours the sacred things of God, it is better for him in the sight of his Lord, and the cattle are lawful to you, save that recited to you, and avoid the abomination of idols, and avoid false speech, inclining to God, not ascribing a partnership to him. And whoso ascribes a partnership to God, it is as if he had fallen from the sky. Then the birds snatch him away, or the wind sweeps him away to a far-off place. That, see 22:67 through 70. And whoso honours the tokens of God, then is it from the prudent fear of the hearts. For you in them are benefits to a stated term. Then is their place of sacrifice to the ancient house. And for every community we appointed a rite, that they remember the name of God over what he has provided them of livestock cattle. And your God is one God, so submit to him, and bear thou glad tidings to the humble, whose hearts are afraid when God is remembered, and those patient over what befalls them, and who uphold the duty, and of what we have provided them they spend. And the camels, we appointed them for you among the tokens of God, for you in them is good. So remember the name of God over them when they are in lines, and when their flanks collapse, eat thereof, and feed the reticent poor and the beggar. Thus have we made them subject for you, that you might be grateful. Their flesh does not reach God, nor their blood, but prudent fear reaches him from you. Thus have we made them subject for you, that you might magnify God for guiding you, and bear thou glad tidings to the doers of good. God defends those who heed warning. God loves not every treacherous ingrate. Leave is given those who are fought because they are wronged, and God is able to help them. Those who have been turned out of their homes without cause, save that they said, Our Lord is God. And were God not to repel some people by means of others, pious communities would be destroyed, and trade and duties and places of worship wherein the name of God is remembered much, would be lost. But God will help him who helps him. God is strong and exalted in might. Those who, if we establish them in the land, uphold the duty and render the purity, and enjoin what is fitting and forbid perversity, and to God belongs the final outcome of matters. And if they deny thee, then there have denied before them the people of Noah, and Ad, and Thamud, and the people of Abraham, and the people of Lot, and the people of Madian, and Moses was denied. So I granted the false claimers of guidance respite. Then I seized them. Then how was my rejection? And how many a city did we destroy when it was doing wrong and is desolate? And a deserted well, is desolate. And a lofty castle, is desolate. Have they not travelled in the earth, and had hearts with which to reason, or ears with which to hear? And it is not the eyes that are blind, but blind are the hearts which are in the breasts. And they ask thee to hasten the punishment, but God does not fail in his promise. And a day with thy Lord is as 1,000 years of what you count. And how many a city did I grant respite when it was doing wrong? Then I seized it, and to me is the journey's end. Say thou, O mankind, I am only a clear warner to you. Those who heed warning and do righteous deeds, they have pardon and a noble provision. And those who strive against our proofs to frustrate them, those are the companions of hell. And we sent not before thee any messenger or prophet, save that when he desired, the Satan cast into his desire. But God abolishes what the Satan casts. Then God makes firm his proofs, and God is knowing and wise, that he might make what the Satan casts a means of denial for those in whose hearts is disease, and those whose hearts are hard, and the wrongdoers are in extreme schism, and that those given knowledge might know that it is the truth from thy Lord, and believe in it, and their hearts might humble themselves to him. And God guides those who heed warning to a straight path. And those who ignore warning will not cease to be in doubt about it until the hour comes upon them unexpectedly, or there comes to them the punishment of a barren day. The dominion that day belongs to God. He will judge between them. Then will those who heed warning and do righteous deeds be in the gardens of bliss, and those who ignore warning and deny our proofs, those will have a humiliating punishment. And those who emigrated in the cause of God, then were killed or died, God will provide for them a goodly provision, and God, he is the best of providers. He will make them enter by an entrance with which they will be satisfied, and God is knowing and clement. That, see 22:67-70. And whoso retaliates with the like whereof he was harmed, then is oppressed, God will help him. God is pardoning and forgiving. For it is that God makes the night enter into the day, and makes the day enter into the night, and that God is hearing and seeing. For it is that God, he is the truth, and that to which they call besides him, it is vanity, and that God, he is the exalted, the great. Dost thou not see that God sends down from the sky water, and the earth becomes green? God is subtle and aware. To him belongs what is in the heavens and what is in the earth. And God, he is the free from need, the praiseworthy. Dost thou not see that God made subject for you what is in the earth, and the ships run upon the sea by his command? And he holds back the sky, lest it fall upon the earth, save by his leave. God is to mankind kind and merciful. And he it is that gave you life, then will he give you death, then will he give you life. Man is an ingrate. For every community we appointed a rite for them to perform. Then let them not dispute with thee concerning the matter, and invite thou to thy Lord, thou art upon right guidance. And if they dispute with thee, say thou, God best knows what you do. God will judge between you on the day of resurrection concerning that wherein you differ. Knowest thou not that God knows what is in the heavens and the earth? That is in a writ, that is easy for God. And they serve besides God that for which he has not sent down authority, and that whereof they have no knowledge. And for the wrongdoers there is no helper. And when our proofs are recited to them as clear signs, thou recognizest perversity in the faces of those who ignore warning. They all but attack those who recite our proofs to them. Say thou, then shall I inform you of worse than that? The fire God has promised to those who ignore warning, and evil is the journey's end. O mankind, a similitude is struck, so listen to it. Those to whom you call besides God will never create a fly, though they gather together for it. And if the fly snatch away something from them, they could not recover it from it. Weak are the seeker and the sought. They measured God not with the measure due him. God is strong and exalted in might. God chooses from the angels messengers, and from men. God is hearing and seeing. He knows what is before them, and what following them, and to God are matters returned. O you who heed warning, be lowly and submit, and serve your Lord, and do good, that you might be successful, and strive for God with the striving due him. He has chosen you, and has not placed upon you in doctrine any distress, the creed of your father Abraham. He named you those submitting before, and in this, that the messenger might be a witness to you, and that you might be witnesses to men. So uphold the duty, and render the purity, and hold fast to God. He is your protector. Then excellent is the protector, and excellent is the helper.